viewpoints and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to Scarefest Television. February 6th, the month of love. That's the title for everything this month. And tonight, of course, we have our monthly council episode. Adrien is on the line with us.
Hi.
There's Adrien. And, of course, Brandon Griffith showed up on time tonight, which absolutely thrills the pants off of me, Brandon.
I mean, I was early. I'm turning a new leaf. It was my New Year's resolution.
There you go. New Year's resolution. But Brandon, I do want to go ahead and go to everyone. I do want to point out, Brandon, AI is much kinder to me on these banners than it is you for no reason.
It's my natural features, my oblong face, slack jaw, receding hairline. Yep. AI favors that. I
am going on record. That's actually the exact expression you had in the picture that I used for this photo. That's the first time it did not change your expression. So I've
got some good ones. I mean, yeah, I've got a whole repertoire of facial expressions. I should have my own like emojis.
And then for all the fans out there, I do want to say tonight's banner, that is physically accurate. I'm just going to throw that out there. The hair was augmented. The rest of it was perfectly.
Wes is red. Totally.
Yeah, that was, other than saying, hey, give me long curly hair, that's the only change it made. Only change. So,
love it.
All right. Okay. So I guess first thing we should talk about, I can't say that our ticket launch went any worse than it did it went great.
Yeah.
By all measures that I know of. So, ticket sales are underway. Anything you want to say about that, Adrien?
Yeah. You pretty much hit the nail on the head. As far as any, measurable that I have, the tickets were great. I think we were all a little bit more prepared this year for the ticket is not in your possession until checkout is complete. I didn't see nearly as many people commenting about that because we were prepared for it. I think we were all expecting how quickly the tickets were going to go. I did see, obviously I couldn't have missed it. A lot of feedback in the group. I did notice that the people who didn't get tickets were the ones that were asking for change. People that did get tickets were praising the system. So I think that's, pretty standard.
I have one thing that I want to add to. I stayed out of it because you know me, I'll start saying snarky things. I got one thing I want to say for the people out there who thinks that the retaining benefit on the VIP tickets is not fair.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll tell you about those VIP tickets. Those people that have those VIP tickets, by and large, a few people got new ones, but by and large, those are the people. Here's what the difference in them and everybody else. If we just decided January 1st to put the tickets on sale and didn't announce a damn guest, those people would click that button.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Like the people that were complaining about it were saying, well, it's not fair for the collectors. Okay, but the collectors are not. I think it's fair to say we're more of a family thing. We want this to be an event for everybody. We do stuff for the collectors. We definitely need the collectors, but I don't think we build our convention around the collectors. Is that a fair thing to say?
I think that to add to that, I think that it is worth saying that if you're going to come to the show to meet celebrity guests, you don't have to have the VIP ticket. And I think that a lot of people that are coming in to the Scarefest space and they don't have a ton of experience with our show, maybe they've been once, maybe they haven't been at all. What they are accustomed to is at these other shows, a lot of shows, and I won't say any specifics, and I'm not going to talk about counts, but a lot of shows will sell a lot of VIP tickets. Mm-hmm. And that means that only the VIP people are going to get in. There is no line building systems. They're going to camp out at the headliner's line, and they're going to sit there all day, and general admission don't get a chance to get into the line. So people come in expecting, if they want to see the headliner guests that we have, that they have to get a VIP level ticket to do that. And I think that we have proven over and over again that's not the case. We make every effort to make sure that that doesn't happen. And so I think that's really where a lot of that disappointment comes in, is people think they're automatically going to miss out on a big part of the show because they didn't get that ticket level. And it's just not the case. So that's kind of where I'm at on it.
You know, there was a post in the group that I thought kind of hit the nail on the head. This is kind of what I get into when I go to shows that are about the same size, have like the same, like, so Texas has about the same amount of VIP tickets, and I always miss out on those. But I've gotten closer every year, I think. But the post that I saw in the group was that, you know, the person started out with a general admission and then had done that for a year or two, and then got a weekend plus, and then this year had been able to migrate to a VIP.
Yep.
And to me, I think that's kind of the way it kind of rolls with this, just because of the limit that we have to have on it. You know, if we push the envelope on it anymore, it's just going to water it down.
Yep.
And, you know, we can't detract from the experience.
No.
And I think that, you know, I've also seen a lot of suggestions about doing lotteries and things like that. But, you know, again, you know, while it may sound good on paper, you know, you've got people that have been coming every year.
Yeah.
And to me, it makes more sense. You know, you have to maintain that long-term like loyalty. Like if somebody gets VIP tickets every year and that's their jam, you know, you can't really take that away from them and then make it a lottery kind of thing.
Yeah. Totally agree. And
see, you could fold in my suggestion, Brandon, and actually next year, go ahead, put the tickets on sale in January. Don't announce a goddamn thing. And then that will clear out a few of the VIPs that we probably like an extra 10 maybe. And then,
I think, and, you know, a lot more like going back to the collector thing, like a lot of the lineups that we've been doing, like, you know, it is a lot of families that come in every year. It's geared towards that a lot. But I think in recent years, like we've really, because I'm a collector, a lot of my friends are collectors. And so we try to take that into account. But the thing about this show is that a collector can come in and, you know, need to get an entire, like, unless it's like a Robert Englund or, you know, like a Matthew Lillard or something like that. You know, a collector can come in without a VIP ticket and pretty much get everything they need.
Yeah.
And we do those big, you know, reunion groups, you know, kind of help folks out with that. So,
yeah. And another thing, you know, I think a lot of it is just, this kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Planning your trip, accessing the information that we provide goes a long way. And I've gotten a ton of positive feedback. It's been posted in the group of people saying, hey, thank you so much for sharing the floor plan, for putting out the booth assignments, because then I know, you know, Brandon talks about parking. This is where you can park. Here's a street view of the convention center. Kind of gives you an idea going into it. This is how the lines are going to work. This, you know, we provide so much insight into that someone can really prioritize the signatures that they want, the panels they want to see, the photo ops they want to have, all of these things. It really helps you to plan your time accordingly. And it's not just a free-for-all when you show up and don't know where anything is, when anything is. I think a lot of that is when people go to other shows and they're not getting offered this communication. That's the experience that they're having, and it's just not like that here. So I think that really plays into it a lot too. And I will add this just, to kind of put more of a human element on it for people who are requesting different ticketing systems, the lotteries, things like that. There may be a way to automate something like that, but the way that we do things, I wouldn't just put a bunch of names in a random number generator and pull them up, because some people might want one ticket. Some people might want 4 tickets. They've got, a mom and dad and 2 adult children, and they all want to come together. There's not a great way to be able to do that wouldn't be extraordinarily labor intensive, on us, or
right,
me specifically.
Under your scenario, you're right. You've got 2 scenarios. One of which is if you don't put any restraints on it, then remember some guy said, well, the bot's got them. That can happen under our system. Well, unless the bot has its own credit card and wants to buy 2 tickets at a time. I guess, it's possible. Right. And came last year, and the bot came last year.
You have to worry more about like the scalpers and things like that go in.
Yeah.
And one of the things that like we do, one, like some of you may have gotten this, like if you were doing it mobile or if you were not on a secure network. So like it has you, like when you go in, if I go in, it had me verify that I was a human.
Yeah.
So that's one catch that it's got. The second thing is that, we go in
and manually check every single order on launch day.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I had Nicole helping me this year a little bit with it. And we went through and looked at, the emails, and most of it are people that are already in the database. So we're able to kind of look back and see, if there's any weird billing or weird emails that come through. It also tracks like where the IP is on it. So it's pretty, I think it's a pretty solid system. The thing that I saw on there, and you got to remember this, and I don't know a ticketing platform that doesn't do this right off, but so like a lot of people when they went in, like it could have been like 7 o'clock and 30 seconds. And it would say sold out. And that's because like it basically, like whoever goes in first, if they put it in a cart, then that holds it. And so then there were some things that like, it may show as sold out while someone's still doing a transaction. And then it will re-release them if it doesn't go through, all that kind of jazz. So if everybody floods the zone at 7, then that can happen too. But you got to remember, like, to refresh, do a hard refresh, stuff like that. But I get the same thing like when I try to get UK basketball tickets.
Yeah. Or somebody pointing out, hey, you want to get season tickets to the football, UK football? Unless somebody's grandfather dies.
Yeah.
It ain't happening. All right, we're at our first break, everybody. We'll be back with more from Scarefest TV and the Council.
Are you a fan of horror movies, books, comics, music, and collectibles? Rue Morgue magazine is for you. Subscribe today to receive 6 or 12 print issues annually and join me, executive editor Andrea Subisati, on an ongoing journey through the horror genre of the past, present, and future. Plus, get access to unmissable special editions such as A Century of Witches, 50 Years of Gore Cinema, British horror movies, and so much more. Rue Morgue, the world's premier horror and culture and entertainment magazine since 1997. Accept no substitute.
And welcome back, everybody, to Scarefest TV. One thing I do want to mention, one difference that we've seen over the years. I remember the first time I bought VIP tickets. I think I got them in August. So I'm just saying the playing ground has changed a little bit over the years too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I even bought platinum tickets one year.
Yeah, the thing I tell you, the thing that I've really tried to think about, and I mean, I've kicked the can around with Adrien, with Wes, Nicole, like the people that. So when we initiated like new stuff, and when we came back off the pandemic, like a lot of things changed, and so there were some people, old school that may have missed out a year on VIP, and then we didn't have enough to accommodate them when they came back in. Kind of stuff like that. But I'm not sure how you go back in and do it just because we have such a limited number of them. And I mean, if anybody remembers, I don't want to like beat a dead horse, but if you were a VIP or you were walking into the general admission line last year, like you would see where the weekend plus and the VIPs were lined up. And I mean, that was already a sizable amount of people, and it's hard to move that amount of people. And when you get in the floor, if you increase it anymore, it just is going to be difficult.
All right, so we beat that dead horse. Everybody in the chat room currently got their tickets. Most of them were very, very happy. What else we got to talk about?
No pressure.
Nothing, nothing going on.
I was going to wait till the bottom of the hour to bring it up. I guess here's something, because it is at the bottom of the hour. But I do want to point, the film festival is underway. We finally got that, begrudgingly on the road. The film, and, so far, decent number of entries, but all shorts. Where are my people with the good features? I don't have a bad feature yet. It's all shorts.
Yeah, I was thinking about the film festival and stuff, and I was looking at, I don't go to, every film festival that I've been to has been a part of a convention. I've never went to one that was like a standalone. And I've really been wanting to do that. I've actually got that on my docket for this year to hit a few of those up, because I think the film festival is one of those gems that we have that it's really kind of taken off over the last few years, and we get a lot of really cool submissions. And I remember the first year, River West, when we moved it to Film Freeway, and we were all trying to judge them.
Yeah, I remember the first year you had me involved with it, and it was everybody you have not seen. You know that train that crashed in Ohio and decimated a town with poison gas? Nothing compares. Nothing. It's the first year, Brandon, that was the year that Brandon thought he could handle it. Is that an accurate?
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. Yeah.
And then so second year he dropped into my lap, which I didn't mind, except I did not know what I was doing, and I made some big mistakes the second year, and that's why I turned it into a math problem. I think I'll put it this way: at the end of the year, I think we have as good a quality film festival on screen. Now, I'm not saying the awards, that's up to the judges, but as far as the movies that make our festival, I think they're second to none. And the main thing is, if anybody says, well, how did that happen? I can show them on paper. It was a math problem. That's the way
the voting though is really fun. I haven't had the time to do it, and I'd really like to get back, because I went in there and I was messing around, playing with the system and looking at some of the years past, and it's just a lot of fun to watch indie work. And I never get to watch it at the show, and
none of us do.
So I would stream them to my TV and just sit here and watch them, and I want to get back into that. So it is a lot of fun. And the filmmakers, man, I mean, they do some good stuff. My favorites have been the comedy ones, because I mean that some of the comedy submissions, comedy horror, have been my favorites over the years.
We've had a couple of decent comedy ones presented this year. One, not comedy, but one really good one. The one I watched today, it's okay. Here, I'm not going to give away the name of it or anything, but everybody, okay. It's a 7-minute short, and it's good. It's paced good, everything about it. But when you're watching, you're like, you can't decide if it's too long or too short. I don't know how to describe it beyond that. Does it have too much content? Could they have made it long? I don't think you could have made a feature out of it. I guess you could have, but it's I described it as ASMR for sci-fi lovers, and that's the sound where people get on TikTok and listen to women rub their hands together and shit like that. So,
when I was going into when I went in there this time, like, and I was looking at it, like, one thing I've really been wanting to do is, like, I don't know how to do it yet. And I was going to talk to you about it at our next meeting, but, like, the profiles that the filmmakers upload and, like, the trailers and stuff, like, from my understanding, from, like, a legal standpoint and the way the releases work, is that it needs to be a chosen film in order for us to move that along into, where folks can actually see, like, a trailer or stuff like that. Because most of our stuff is like image and description. But there's, like, a specific way you have to put it in. You have to get, like, a link with a password, and you can embed it in the website. And that's kind of where I was at. And I was like, well, shit, I'm going to talk to Wes about that, because that's above my pay grade.
Now we can, okay, the trailers are general, because almost all the trailers are uploaded to YouTube. They're public usage. Of course, you can't claim copyright on them or charge people to see them. But no, the trailers, the ones that do trailers, they're like any movie trailer. I include them in the show all the time. And for the record, when I include them in the show, the only copyright pings I get, the music.
Nah.
Yeah, they don't get, nobody gives a rat's ass that you're showing their trailer. But occasionally, on some of the bigger movies, they will have copyrighted music, and they've done their copyright work, but it doesn't show up on it. And I've never gotten, it's like, don't do that, but that's as far as it ever goes. And basically it means that whoever owns a copyright gets to put an ad on the screen. That's how they enforce it. So that's mine.
We should make a short.
I'm making one this summer. I'm making one. I'm not going to tell anybody the name of it. Anybody who follows me on Facebook might recognize it, because I actually did share the script one time. But I have a script, and all I got to get is a location, and I am going to make a short movie. And I think I might even enter it under an anonymous name and just see if people like it.
Is it going to be on your detective persona?
No. No, I can't. But if I say who is the star of it, it'll give it away, because it's recognizable to people that came last year's Scarefest. That's the only hint I'll get. So.
Okay, well, the film festival, that's out. Let's see what else we got going on into the calendar here.
I was going to mention at the bottom of the hour, but now vendors, we're opening vendor applications up Sunday, right?
Sunday at noon.
Sunday at noon. And it's open for how long?
They're going to be open for a month.
A month.
They have until March the 8th to get those in, and then all vendors will be notified of selections by March 15th.
Okay, that's about all we can say about that. Now, for anybody wondering on if anybody does watch this on YouTube or watches the replay, or they're watching tonight, when I go to cons, that's the first thing. I hear more about that than people coming up saying, we should get so-and-so. It's vendors walking up to me, how do you get in Scarefest? And the only answer first of all, you got to get in there, get your application in before the waiting list gets so long that we just say, you've got no hope, sorry. Better luck next time. And here's your thing, people. This is inside information I'm going to give to the vendors right now. If you sell anything that nobody else that you know of sells, make sure you mention that.
Absolutely.
That is what has kept our vendor floor so fresh, is we try not to have a bunch of vendors selling the exact same thing.
And it says it on the application that the floor is curated, so it's not oversaturated in one way or another. And we do encourage folks on the application that if you have something that's totally different and unique, absolutely to highlight that. There are places on the application where you can submit photos. We would love to see a photo of your complete setup, and then, you know, highlight a couple of items that you plan to bring, and yeah, put those in there. So that will definitely help your chances of getting noticed. A good application. If you have, you know, a really incomplete application, it's missing stuff, those typically fall to the bottom of the list. So keep that in mind. Eye-catching, flashy, a pebble, you know, helps if you're penguin.
Vendors have been a hot topic online here lately. Some of you guys in the fan group, like, there was a big thing to do in Michigan where I guess like they oversold the show and had too many vendors and not enough space. That garnished a lot of attention.
That's all right now. Yeah.
And it reminded me, like, you know, when you start doing this for a while and you learn that, like, and I've told this before to like some of the vendors, you know, that I'm friends with, was like when I first came into this, like I thought it, you know, I thought a lot of them like did this as a hobby or like, you know, went around the weekends, and like then you start to, and I know I've went on this before, but then you start to realize that no, you know, this is what people like do full time, and like a lot of them like shut down their brick and mortar stores and then go around, and so, you know, when a show does something bad with its vendors, you know, it's bad for the whole system. But, you know, it just reminds you that you really got to take care of your vendors and
so you mean,
you know, guys that are coming to the show.
They sold more booth space than they actually had booth space
by a lot.
Well, yeah, like I saw online, that I talked to a couple of friends of mine, and like they had people show up at the door to load in that had paid, and they didn't have the space. And then the vendors that did get in
had to take
there just wasn't had like reduced space, but then also had to deal with like low traffic issues. And so that's a double whammy, man. Like when vendors are driving, especially if any of those guys were coming out of state, you know,
a lot of time and stuff put into the product they were going to sell, hotel rooms, travel, time off work. It's a big mess. So definitely.
Me being previously involved in the Paracon industry, not having traffic to support the number of vendors is nothing new to me. Seen it a lot, but
yeah.
But I can say that I've never showed up and said, "Where's my booth?" And they go, "Oh." Well, a couple times they had to find us because as doing it for Scarefest weekend. But I'm saying, we don't always make the vendor list because we work with other conventions. Yeah, but we always had the spot. But I just cannot imagine showing up, driving cross country.
And it wasn't just a couple. It was dozens, maybe triple digit vendors that were turned away at the door.
I just don't even. I don't even know how that happens.
It's not the first. Well, and that's what everybody's asking. And it's not the first time it's happened with the same promoter in the same venue. So it's really raising a lot of red flags right now with people because you know the space that you're in. You know, you've been there before. You know how many tables you can set up. You don't look at a room and be like, I reckon I could probably fit about, I don't know, 150 tables in here, and really 40. You know, you don't do that. That doesn't happen. So there's more to this story, and I think that the authorities are definitely involved. So hopefully the vendors get some resolution on that and get reimbursed.
But you know, the thing to remember, everybody, like that's real important, and I try to talk about this like every time we talk about vendors, is that, you know, last year, you know, our platform had the system where vendors go in and build their profiles. And so twofold, you know, vendors returning, like make sure you guys go in and absolutely update that. Mm-hmm. Your base profile should transfer over. And so you can build on it. If you come to the show like every year, we keep using the same platform, like you'll be able to basically build it up year over year and adjust it. And to attendees and even people that can't make it this year, you know, we'll have that link up and active like once we start filling them. And, go on there. A lot of people have their links to their Etsy shops or their websites. And so, yeah, I encourage everyone to use that link because it's a really good tool.
Yeah, one last thing to add to that, Brandon. As the person that ends up doing a lot of the advertising for the vendors at the show, vendors, this message goes out to you. Go in and fill out that information for the love of God. Facebook page, website, profile photo, a logo. Fill that stuff out. There's nothing more frustrating than someone paying you for like featured vendor status, and I go on there and it doesn't even have a Facebook link. I understand if you don't have a big website.
And, another thing, like just real quick, because I think that it's important for people to understand, like, our show is enormous, and Diana and I spent something like 5 hours yesterday processing vendor moves. Every dot on the screen, every little note on here were all vendor requests, like, hey, I want to do this year. And we go through and we process every single request. We look at the flow, we watch the patterns, we called vendors and we were like, hey, how did this work out for you? It is really, really labor intensive if you take the time to actually care about the experience that the people have at your show. So when we hear about things like this, unfortunately it happens. And I was just talking to another promoter earlier today, Matt from Evansville, and we were like, hey, we really take a lot of care and time into taking care of the people that come to our show. And then stuff like this happens, and it kind of makes people leery of all promoters. So it's like we're constantly having to prove ourselves, and that's great. Like, but it just, anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and everybody remember too, like there's a whole group of vendors at the show that Nicole runs the Mystical Market that's every month over here at Off Center Parkway, and if you're local and you're in town, run over and check them out because they've got some cool stuff. But yeah, that show is really fun, and if you're into like mediums and psychics and things like that, yeah, she's running that like every month.
Okay, now don't hit the button till I say it, because tonight, in honor of the month of love, I am reading Adrian's script, girly descriptions and all. But I'm doing it in my Valentine voice. All right.
Well, it's Valentine's. We got to show the ladies some love.
The month of love. All right. When I point, then you can go. All right. Got to do the straight face too. It's not romantic if you giggle, Wesley. Okay. All right. I'm not saying this is my favorite announcement week of the year, but I am saying it's my favorite announcement week of the year. That's terribly redundant. Okay, I'm sorry. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and Scarefest is celebrating the ladies. Let's start with Spawn of Scarefest. We're thrilled to welcome horror icon Felissa Rose, best known as Angela Baker in Sleepaway Camp, delivering one of the most unforgettable reveals in horror history. An absolute perfect fit for Spawn. Now, for Scarefest weekend, Evil Dead fans, you're gonna want to sit down. Joining us this October, Betsy Baker, best known for her role as Linda in The Evil Dead, whose performance helped define the possessed horror that followed. What happened to my music? Where'd my music go? I had music.
Keep going.
I like my music. All right. The horror that followed. And returning to Scarefest weekend, a true horror queen and legend, and fan favorite, Lynn Shay, best known as Elise Rayner from the Insidious franchise, and a genre staple for decades. And finally, every great horror story needs a classic, rolling into Scarefest weekend straight out of The Evil Dead, the legendary Delta 88, available for photo ops this October. Ladies, legends, and one very iconic ride. And Delta 88 bench seats. Absolutely love bench seats. I think that's the worst thing that ever happened to romance in the world. Okay, now on with our upcoming dates. Everybody mark these down. We haven't changed this graphic, but we're February 8th. Vendor applications, as we were talking about. March 1st, speaker applications open, media applications open, and then finally, staff applications open April 1st. And little reminder I got for you. Myself, Barb, and Joanna will be at Evansville HorrorCon coming up February 28th through March 1st. Saturday and Sunday, February 1st, March 1st. Stop by Evansville HorrorCon. If you're there, stop by the booth. Get a picture with us. Say hi. Pick up a t-shirt, some swag, whatever. But yes, please stop by and see me and the lovely ladies of Scarefest Television during the month of love. Okay, little thing here. Here's Barb's little blurb, iconic horror couples with co-host Eric Hyde. That is on, where'd my page go? There it is. This weekend, join Barb and co-host Eric Hyde over at Fear the Talking Heads on YouTube for another live interactive episode. They'll be discussing iconic horror couples this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome, chat participation. And finally, little reminder, tell anybody you know in the film industry, independent filmmakers, somebody just thinking about it, but if they got a film, if it's ready to go or will be ready by roughly August 31st, hey, the Scarefest Weekend Film Festival is now taking entries. And one last little blurb for me and Brandon. If you love the new graphics for the show and the music and all that stuff, the perfect AI platform does exist. Makes it dumbass easy. Galaxy AI. Go to scarefestradio.com. Click my link and Brandon gets credit for it. Back to the show.
All right.
Was that romantic enough for you?
I'm going to have to turn the fan on in here. It was pretty romantic.
It gave me the vapors.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be, yeah.
And talking about Evans, I got a lot of personal grooming to do by then. I got to get my beard back in shape. Look at this damn thing.
Okay, let's see. So, another bit of exciting news for Scarefest weekend. We are up to 69 confirmed guests right now for Scarefest weekend. We have got, I don't have my count pulled up right now for Spawn. We've got more guests confirmed for Spawn, some really good ones coming up. So both shows, guest-wise, shaping up really nicely. I will say, there's one guest that we have an offer out on. And if that offer is accepted, which I don't actually think it's going to be, but if that offer is accepted, you guys it's going to be hard for me to not spill. We're going to have to announce that one pretty soon because I will just come unglued if we can get this guest. It's somebody I didn't think that we would ever be able to have. And it's also not somebody that people ask for all the time. So don't be like, oh my God, you're getting John Carpenter. It's not John Carpenter. But it's an amazing guest. So fingers crossed on that.
Detective worker. It's obviously a man because Adrien never gets that excited about a woman.
I will, you know what? 99.9% of the time you would be right, but I'll give you a hint. It is a woman.
Oh, shit.
I know. 99% of the time you'd be right. But this time, nope, it is. It is a woman. I've got my fingers, toes. I might even braid my hair to get that crossed. But again, I don't think that it's going to happen. So let's see what else. Hopefully soon we should have a release date for photo ops for Spawn of Scarefest. I got that text message sent over to Heather. See when we're going to get that up and rolling. Let's see. Oh, the other thing with vendor applications going live on Sunday, returning tattoo artists. You have a link in your inbox to refill out your application. New tattoo artist applications are going to be posted on the 8th as well. same time as regular vendor applications, but it is a different application. So that may be a little bit confusing for some people. If a tattoo artist fills out a vendor app, we'll get them over to the right place. But the vendor application will be on scarefestweekend.com/vendors, and the Scarefest Inc. application will be on the Scarefest Inc. page on the website. So 2 totally different applications going on there. And let's see what else
I
have
would
we
have brought that up, but I didn't stick to script when I got past the month
that's
of
okay.
love.
That's totally okay. I might have left it off. There's been a lot going on this week.
No, it was on there. It was on there.
Oh,
good.
Good.
I just totally didn't double back and get it.
No worries at all. But yeah, we've had a week for sure. Lots of planning is still going on. Definitely some stuff in the works for Spawn, some special event things that we're, refining a little bit on there. Some really cool updates, hopefully coming out soon for Spawn. Some campfire stories, pool parties, door decorating contests, the prom. Joe Lewis got really excited when we mentioned maybe hosting a show and tell segment. He got really giddy and said that he and Brandon should compare their one sheets. I'm sure that that's something they get together and do on a regular basis. But boys will be boys. So yeah, looking in the chat, I don't see. Go ahead.
I was going to say, now one thing you need to do, we need to get Adam in there. So our logistics director,
yeah,
he's not been to the hotel yet. And have you seen the boy? He's like losing hair and yeah, he's bald and has no beard now.
I know.
He's keeping him up of nights.
I know, absolutely crazy. So, and also, yes, Wes in the chat, survived the night. We had oh my gosh, did we talk for 2 hours the other night? I feel like we talked for a really long time. But yeah, survived the night. We're going to be looking to have them back at Scarefest weekend this year for sure. Gonna try to see if we can work something out for Spawn, maybe with some of the setups that they've got, and they have some new ideas that they may be throwing our way for some interactive. I don't think I'm allowed to call it an escape room. Explicitly not allowed to call it an escape room, but puzzle game for Spawn, and then
we went over this.
Yeah, for weekend, definitely. Some really cool stuff in the works that they have been putting together down there at Survive the Night. So lots of fun things there. Who else have we talked to? Gonna be talking to John Henderson this week, Doomsday's Crypt. John is cooking up some really fun things for Spawn and Scarefest weekend. So for those of you who remember last year, John brought in Danny Hassel and Joe Castro, and they had a lot of fun at his booth. Joe Castro did some really sick prosthetics, not only on Danny, but we had ABC came in, Nightline, and one of their reps had some prosthetic done on him, which was super cool. Mm-hmm. So going to be talking to John and see what he's got in mind for Scarefest this year. What else? What else have we been working on? Some new changes for the Scarefest Inc., the Scarefest Inc. room. We have been talking a little bit about the VIP party and some of the cool events that we maybe are requesting for the VIP party. And talking to Manchester about they may be looking at hosting an event on Friday night that we might be able to do a little bit of partnership and promoting with. So really excited about that one. Where is John Henderson tonight? I don't know where John is. It's Friday night. He should be here hanging out with us. But yeah, that is true. Hoping for a haunted tiki pool party, maybe with an outdoor screening. That's totally in the cards, Max. We've got all of the things that can make that happen.
I've been around this crew long enough. The screen makes perfect sense. But the thought of putting any type of projector in the area of water around this bunch.
Well, I think theirs is like it's a television. So
Oh, okay.
if we can
So
hook
that's
up
not
to,
scary at all. Having
No.
the television by the water. No,
well, it's like
that's fine.
it's way up on the building though. So like even if it falls, it's gonna fall into concrete. It's not gonna fall in the water
Okay.
and bath bomb all of us. Another thing before we go to commercial, I want to show you guys this now. I'm going to put a disclaimer on here. 1, I do not approve of the font. 2, this is completely a bootleg shirt that I'm wearing. But I was gifted this shirt by Scarefest's own Nathan Carroll, and I want to show you guys what it says. Okay, see this cute little skull? All right, it says Scarefest. We are not a cult. Definitely not something a cult would say. So I know we talked about this. What I want to know right before we go to commercial in the comments, if we were to get up with, one of our artists and we had a shirt designed that said something to the effect of Scarefest Weekend, definitely not a cult. Would you want one? Let us know in the comments.
And we're at a good time to go to that said break. We'll be watching your comments while we're gone, everybody. Phone Need Weekly is up now.
During the ice storm, I snuck out and got to see the new Sam Raimi movie. That's right. Send help. Sam Raimi and John Carpenter are my favorite directors. Sam Raimi beats him by this much simply because Army of Darkness, Evil Dead, and Evil Dead 2 busted my little brain at 12 and 13 years old. I just fell in love with him. And it's been a while since there's a new movie, and I get so excited, but I could not have been more uninterested in this. But the trailers were coming, and then I watched the first trailer, and I was like, well, Rachel McAdams playing some sort of, and her boss sucks, and they find themselves stranded on an island after an airplane crash, and she becomes the boss. What a cliched plot. Oh, it's written by the guys that wrote that Friday the 13th remake that sucks, but they also wrote Freddy vs. Jason and Baywatch. I go and watch it. A lot of people are talking about how it's Sam Raimi's best film in 20 years, how it's so much fun. It's such a crowd pleaser. It is a crowd pleaser. Is it the best movie ever? No. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely. Did some people there was a lady next to me who just screamed with the eyeball scene. It's a hard R. There's blood, vomiting, just bile. I read a review of an actual reviewer, not just the fans, who said the material's meh, but Rachel McAdams elevates it. That's true. They're right. This is maybe one of the best performances I've ever seen her give. She's fantastic in it. It's still a caricature. It's still an archetype, right? The mousy little person who turns into So what happens is I just said the plot. And then they crash land, and her and her boss are and by the way, the crash landing is so cool. Straight Sam Raimi. The scene where she fights off the boar, I won't give too much away. It is nice to see Sam Raimi doing a Sam Raimi movie. Is it his best? I would say if you like Drag Me to Hell, you'll like this. A lot of people were saying that it's a lot better than Drag Me to Hell. I disagree. And it's very gory. It's hard hitting. Still, there's not a lot to think about. It has an ending that's a crowd pleaser that I can't talk about here because you all are going to be, I ain't spoiling the ending, but I really want to talk to somebody about it. Somebody who watches a lot of movies. Because to me, it's a slight cop-out, but slight not. And it gives the audience it gave the theater what they wanted. Does it make any sense? This movie is as dumb as a box of rocks. Don't start picking at it. Like, well, I bet, no, don't. You'll ruin it. It's a stupid, fun movie. And it's not stupid. It's very well done. The director, Rachel McAdams, elevate it to where you get a little bit more out of it. It's not Sam Raimi's best film, but is it his most fun film in a long time? Yeah. The scene where she gets sick on him is great. It's worth the price of admission for the person banging outside the airplane it's just the ludicrousy of it. And you can see people in the audience going, should I laugh? Yes, laugh. It's a Sam Raimi movie. For us who have loved him for so long, yeah, laugh. The more people in that theater, the more reactions, the better, more fun you're going to have. So send help. Go see it. It's a new Sam Raimi movie. A director later in his life making a solid B movie. It's actually reminiscent of Red Eye, which Rachel McAdams is in, which was one of Wes Craven's last movies, which is just a solid B movie that's a lot of fun. This is more fun than Red Eye, but it reminded me of that. So should you see Send Help? Absolutely. It's a crowd pleaser. It's a little overhyped. Rotten Tomatoes, 90-some%. I don't think it's that good, but it's pretty good. So go out and check it. Thank you. This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. Stay safe. Stop sliding out there.
Next week, we welcome 2025 Scarefest weekend guest Lisa Wilcox to the show. Lisa has performed in over 100 film, television, commercial, and theater productions, starting her career in Equity Waiver Theater and completing her Bachelor of Arts degree at UCLA. Lisa went on to play the lead role of Alice in A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Due to the phenomenal box office success of A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Lisa played Alice once again in A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dream Child. In her career, Lisa has played from nun to prostitute. Her resume includes comedy, soap operas, and episodic dramas. Join Wes and Joanna Friday as they talk to this versatile and fan-favorite actress.
And we're back with the final few minutes of Scarefest TV. I don't know why her promo reminded me. I saw David Naughton on Grey's Anatomy just like today. Yes, he had a role on Grey's Anatomy. I watched, but he didn't have a speaking line until like 45 minutes into the episode. He was just a quiet father over in the corner all through the episode. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Before we wrap up for the night, the folks that are still here typically are like the people that stay all the time, the ones that stay after the guest announcements. You all really care about what's going on. And so I want to know, what events do you guys want to see at Scarefest weekend this year? Because we are in prime time for deciding what special events are going to be happening at the show. Obviously, we kind of got to leave some space open. We're going to have some killer panels this year. Some of the lineups that we're bringing in are going to be awesome. So panels are going to rock it. We know with Greg Nicotero coming back, we're probably going to be looking at getting a special dinner with Greg Nicotero at Nick and Norman's. Details about that will be coming out soon. Just waiting to hear back from the restaurant on logistics and pricing and things like that. But beyond that, what do you guys want to see? What kind of special events are you thinking that you would like to see at Scarefest? If Corey Taylor would do a ghost hunt with Steve Gonzalez, I could work the event. Thank you, Katie. I'll get right on that. I'm sure he would be down. Obviously, Evil Dead Night of the Creeps panel. Yep, that on the list for sure. Great suggestions. Evil Dead.
I tell you what I wanted to do. I've been kicking the can around on this for a while. Ice Cream Social, Killer Clowns.
Ice Cream Social. I'm putting it on the list. Let's see.
Well, the last time Harry Bank and I talked, he was dead set on wanting to do some sort of bourbon tasting as a Killer Clowns like side quest.
Okay. Barb says wine chocolate cheese event, please. 100% put it on the list. Wine, chocolate, and cheese.
But is this really a wine crowd overall?
The chocolate and the cheese part might land though.
It might, but
Corey Taylor singing, hanging out with you guys, love that. Anything Corey Taylor, absolutely. I like the idea that Jake had about maybe having a local theater do a production of Evil Dead musical. I'll put it on the list. Let's see. What else we got here? A performance by the Booth Brothers. Is that something that they do? Let's see. Happy hour with the Scarefest Council. Yeah, if that involves taking a solid 16-hour nap, I'm down. Booth Brothers. Y'all are going too fast for me to keep up. The Greg dinner is a fantastic time. Yes, I have heard wonderful things, and one of these years, maybe I'll get to check it out. Fred Decker has to talk about Monster Squad as well. I'm sure Fred Decker would love to talk about Monster Squad. Escape Room with Bruce Campbell. I wonder who could have suggested that. Wes at Survive the Night. I love it. I'm putting it on the list. Bruce Campbell, but I can't say escape room, remember? So non-escape room. I'm going to put that down. Give me some wine and I can cry and tell you guys I love you. I would probably pay to go to that, Katie. I'm a bourbon. All right, Justin, I'm not sure what that one means. Evil Dead the Musical is a fun show. Boone's Farm Wine Crowd, heck yeah. Ghost
I
hunting.
will say, drink a bottle of Boone's Farm, then drink beer. Best drunk you'll ever have. Worst hangover, but best. Nothing compares. Nothing.
Worst hangover, best
Yeah,
drunk.
hats off to whoever threw out Boone's Farm.
That would be Amanda Feltner.
Oh, nicely
Have
done.
an escape, survive the night with Bruce. All right, I put it on the list, so we'll see what we can. Don't escape the non-escape room with Bruce. Love the tagline. I'm gonna make sure that we put that on the graphic. Ladies love the wine. I agree, Barb, totally. And Wesley says Bruce has actually played our game before. We scared the crap out of him. He's in our trailer. So please let Bruce out of your trailer if he is in there. But I'm sure he means his promo. And yeah, if that's something we can work into, he has a very meticulous schedule. I do know that. Haunted artifacts with the Somerset Museum. Okay. I think Wes has a line on maybe some cool things that we might be able to bring in kind of in that vein, but I'll write it down. Haunted maze. Kayla, that's something we've never really had the space to do. That's kind of
start
why
planting the corn now,
Survive the
Brandon.
Night work,
Every haunted maze I've been to has been cornfield, so yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Survive.
Well, I mean,
the
there's a
Night.
big vacant field out behind the convention center now,
Watching
and an amphitheater. We'll just throw it there.
Watching Killer Clowns with the Kyoto Brothers while they comment, that would be nice. Some type of Fear Factor. Bruce, I'm sorry, they're going too fast. If I miss yours, you're going to have to put it back in there. I literally cannot keep up. Oh my God. Throw in Wild Irish, Rose, Spencer Charnas. But Spencer Charnas has not been announced. Skits Cavern, I'm not sure what that means. The museum last year was awesome. Movies at the theater this year too, please. Late night after hours. An outside concert with Ghost. Justin, love that. I don't know why in the world you would mention that. A photo op with Sam, Ivan, Ted, Bruce, and the Delta 88. Could be on the list. Could be on there. Horror bingo with the Killer Clowns. All right. I like that. With clowns. Let's see. Space closed like the building, but they're still posting on Facebook. I didn't say Spencer. Somebody in the comments did. And John Henderson with Doomsday's Crypt is in the chat now. John, we were talking about you, buddy. We're worried.
John's alive. Yay,
yeah.
John.
We also heard that Doomsday's Crypt was excited to be there with some cool people. We're calling for you in the comments. Were your ears burning? Start planting the corn now, Brandon. Announce Spencer, I beg. You will wait your turn. 30th anniversary for Scream is this year. So if we could see that specifically, would love to see it on the big screen with friends. So one cool thing about the movie theater, and you know, Scream, I'm not sure if that's going to happen this year, guys. They're going to be doing a lot of events this year. We've thrown some lines out. We're going to see what we can pull in as far as Screamcast goes, but it's not going to be a big knock your socks off reunion. A lot of those folks have very busy calendars, and it's probably not in the cards for us this year.
Neve Campbell was on Grey's Anatomy just the other day.
Yeah. We're really working on a Grey's Anatomy reunion right now. That's what we're working on.
I would love that.
Wes would lose his fucking mind.
Killer Clown.
Oh, Jesus Christ, really?
That's like when I was watching what's the hospital show that we watched 2 years ago that Tyler Labine was in? It starts.
Oh, about
I never watched that.
Shut up, Brandon. I'm talking to Wes right now.
Yeah. Tell us in the chat room. Tyler Labine was in it. But he played the mental health
Oh my gosh.
professional.
Yeah.
God dang it.
What is
Tucker and
that?
Dale Ophthalmology.
Oh my gosh. Somebody say it. somebody say what the name of it is? Because Wes and I both just started like randomly watching
New
it.
Amsterdam.
That's it, New Amsterdam.
Thank you. I kept wanting to say Nordstrom. I was like, that's not right, but it does start with an N.
Oh my God, are they making a sequel to Tyler, Dale, or Tucker and Dale?
Yes, I saw that on something, but yeah.
I would love to do that. Katie says, I did get some items today to do the raffle at our meeting of the clergy. We're going to have a karaoke machine too. Need that Tobin Bell. I would fangirl so hard, Tyler says. Let's see the captions. Cabin in the Woods reunion, Chicago Med, Breaker High, New Amsterdam. Yes, thank you. So yeah, that was a lot of fun when we were watching that, and then we announced Tyler Labine, and we're like, oh my gosh, yeah, same guy. Hardly recognize him. Yeah. Brandon hasn't watched it, but he complained the whole time his kryptonite is Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, it's
the big for authors and did a reading signing event. I'm saying, Dusty, I definitely want to put some lines out to some horror authors. So if you have suggestions for them, please let us know. Put them on the guest request thread. I feel like authors often get overlooked for filmmakers in this industry, but man, reading it, I know reading's not a big thing anymore, but there's some scary books out there.
Like we don't read here. That's why we don't have screenplays in the film festival.
This happens or announced later. I don't know if you have a drive-in. I don't think that we've got one in Lexington anymore.
Nope.
No, they had one outside in Winchester, and it went the way of the dodo.
Paris
Yeah,
has one,
right.
but you couldn't book an event there if you for anything. They
That's one
stay
thing I love
packed.
about. That's one thing I love about Flashback Weekend is like their show is like centric to keeping like one of the movie theater that they do up there. That keeps it going. But yeah, we don't have anything. Gosh, my dog had that kennel cough.
Katie says, Brandon, I was whoring Scarefest at the Ritual. Katie went to a Ghost concert. She sent you an email about it. Diana went with her, and she says Diana can attest to the fact that people recognized her from Scarefest. They were like, oh my God, are you Katie from Scarefest? And so, it's a thing. She's definitely getting a following. And I told her, maybe Scarefest can fund some more Ghost concerts for her so she can be out there spreading the good word.
Scarefest presents Ghost. Yes, at the Manchester Music Hall.
Right. Oh, that would break. Let's see. Joe Hill does tours. Maybe he can bring his dad. That would be great. Flashback Weekend, wish the theater wasn't so far away. Yeah, that's true. Oh, I started to say this earlier when we were mentioning Scream. We did, the movies this year with Lex Live, where we did I think it was like $5 admission on Friday and Saturday, and it was free on Sunday. It may be a little bit more this year. We're just trying to fill out some stuff and make sure that they at least get the money that they spend on getting the film and things like that. But once we get a good idea of our lineups, which I think we're kind of there, we're going to be working with Lex Live to bring some movie showings for you all. That was a lot of fun last year. We had really great turnout. And if a couple of the cast can come over and they can chat, before the movie, cherry on top. So really, really cool stuff. So
Yeah, I really want people to think about too, because I've tried to put my thinking cap on here recently, and the photo op stuff. So I really want to, we can't do the elaborate, huge scenes and stuff, but I'm really trying to figure out ways to kind of up the ante this year.
you need to talk to Nathan Carroll. Nathan Carroll is the
No, I know. It's why I'm putting it out there. I know Nathan probably has a crap load of ideas, and I mean, for example, it's like the other day, I've gotten this thing in my head about Wishmaster and Kane Hodder and Andrew Divoff, and so they actually, I'm trying to figure out a way to make that glass scene. So I think you could just get a pane of glass, or it wouldn't be glass, so it's got to move. But have that graphic of him being caught in the glass. I thought that was a good idea. And then obviously trying to think of some stuff for Evil Dead, because we got to do it earlier this year and really kind of get the ball rolling on it. And also, I know we're 5 minutes over. I want to say too, like, since it's the Valentine's episode, I want to say happy Valentine's to my wife Nicole, also the co-owner, and also she has been putting in. She's always done a lot of stuff with the merch, and now she's working on the online store, which I think it's going to come to fruition. She's put a lot of work into that. We've gotten all the shirts and stuff organized. She's finalizing that right now, and so I think we'll actually have an online store finally with some shirts and things on it for folks. So I'm excited about that. So make sure when that goes live to thank Nicole for her hard work and efforts. But yeah, it should be fun.
Cool.
Try to keep
as Brandon said, we are 5 minutes over. So I'm going to call it a night. So, okay. Adrien is uncharacteristically quiet tonight. Every time we actually ask you a question, you just go blank.
Did you ask me a question? I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with the comments and make notes.
Okay, everybody, this has been Scarefest TV. Join us next week. Hopefully, Lisa will not have a job this time. I hate to say that about somebody, but, anyway, see you next week.